Good morning, students. Today, I'm going to discuss about photolithography. Photolithography means light-induced writing on a stone or writing on the stone with the help of light. How do we do photolithography? So there are various steps involved in it. First is oxidation. So how do we do oxidation? We subject the we subject the substrate. The yellow color one represents the substrate. We subject this substrate to oxidation. Oxidation means reaction of the material with oxygen. It can happen either in the presence of water molecules or in the absence of water molecules. So once it is oxidized, you can find SiO2 layer over the entire surface. Okay. So after SiO2 layer is formed, then what is the next step we have to do? We have to cover the entire surface with photoresist material. Photoresist material is nothing but photosensitive material. That is, when it is exposed to light, it reacts. So it may get hardened after exposure, or the exposed portion may be unaffected. The unexposed portion may get hardened in another type. So here the violet color layer represents the photoresist material. After that, what is that we do? We expose this with a help of a mask to UV rays. So you see here, this is the mask. The top layer is the mask. So when we expose these to UV rays, this portion is exposed and the other portion is not exposed to UV rays. Other portion means the photoresist material under this mask is not exposed, whereas in this center portion is exposed. So what is that happens? This reacts with the UV rays and the other portion may not react with the UV rays. So what you have to do is we have to remove next with the help of a process. We have to remove this photoresist material from the center portion. So you can go for chemical etching. When you do chemical etching, you make use of a chemical solution to dissolve the photoresist material which reacted with the UV rays, and you can remove that. You can loosen that and remove it. So after removal, the surface of SiO2 is exposed here, as you can see. So next step is to remove this SiO2 also. So after removal of SiO2, the substrate is seen in the form of a window. You can see the structure and the substrate is now exposed. Over this substrate, you can do any process, but before that, the not reacted photoresist material is also removed by a procedure called ashing. So the chip now is ready for any process as a diffusion or ion implantation, or even if you want to do for oxidation. So this is photolithography. So if you recollect, these are the steps we did. First, we subjected the chip for oxidation, wherein we got in a layer of SiO2 over the chip. Then we applied a photoresist material, exposed that to UV rays, and photoresist development takes place. You have to remove the one portion which is not required. So you have to remove it with the help of acid etching. So when you mix or when you subject that portion with the acid, it gets loosened and you can remove it by spinning it and drying it. And once it is removed, you can also remove the SiO2 layer below that in the similar fashion, and also later you can remove the photoresist material over the entire surface by doing ashing. So instead of a wet chemical etching, you can also make use of plasma etching or dry etching by subjecting that for plasma field or charged field, wherein mechanical bombardment of ions will take place over the material which has to be removed, and they get loosened and comes out. So that is what we do in photolithography. In case of photolithography, there are two types: positive lithography and negative lithography. In positive lithography, the UV rays will react with the photoresist material which are exposed, and they are now soluble in the developer. In the negative lithography, the unexposed areas remains soluble in the chemical developing solution. So you have to remember, in positive lithography, the photoresist material which is exposed or soluble in the chemical solution and they can be removed. In the negative lithography, the resist material which was unexposed will be soluble in the chemical developer solution and therefore it can be removed. Coming to electron beam lithography, as the technology is improving, we cannot use photolithography. Why? Because the dimensions of the chip is reducing and the width of the layers is also reducing. So here we have to make use of electron beam in order to create the pattern on the chip precisely. So here the electron beam is made to fall on the chip in a scanned manner. So you scan the entire chip with the help of the electron beam, and the photoresist material or the resist material, it is not photo, it is the resist material which is on the substrate will either harden or not harden based on whether you are employing positive electron beam lithography or negative electron beam lithography, and later it can be removed and a pattern is developed on the chip with the help of electron beam. So this shows the actual photograph of electron beam lithography, and you can see this is the wafer and the beam is made to fall on a particular chip at a time in order to create a pattern. This is the source of electron beam made to fall through a mask onto the chip. The mask may be chromium coated glass which is baked to a certain temperature to have the mask stored on it. So that's about electron beam lithography. Thank you.